everyone. So many people have told me that you can use laminate on wood to sublimate, and I didn't have laminate to sublimate, and so I thought I could use polyacrylic and put it on the wood and sublimate. And I have this piece of wood that I got at a craft store for $1.10, I think, and I thought it would be such a cute gift for someone in my family. And I used Canva and created a collage here, and it really did not work very well. When you really zoom in, you can see it kind of stuck to the polyacrylic, and I followed lots of video tutorials online, and it just wasn't coming out right. And then I discovered that you could do the laminate instead. The catch is I don't have a heat press. My husband got me a heat press for Christmas that was supposed to come on December 1st from Swing Design, and unfortunately they are having trouble getting all the parts for it, so it's not going to be until the end of December, which means all Christmas presents that I had planned on making have to be made with my Easy Press 2, which is very challenging, really challenging, but it can be done. I know it can be. So here's what we're going to do. If you have an Easy Press 2, because you have to get it up to 400 for sublimation, go ahead and turn that bad boy on, and you're going to set your temperature for 365, and we're going to go for 90 seconds. And what you're going to want to do is cut your laminate close to the same size as your object. Leave a little bit of space because it does shrink a little bit from what I've been told. This is actually my first attempt, and so you will see this video whether it works or not, because I think it's really important to learn from each other's mistakes and know what not to do. So I've got laminating pouches from Amazon, and they just come in like a pouch, and you can see I've already cut this because I just put the wood piece down on it and traced it with a pen, and then did the best I could to cut it. And so from what I understand, after all is said and done, I can use an X-Acto knife to cut the rest of the edges off. And I tried to keep it, you can see, really close up here on the top, because I kind of was like, how am I going to get an X-Acto knife there? And then I'm going to do a similar image to the one I tried on the back. That was too small anyway, but it was more of a practice. So I made it a little bit bigger, and you'll see that in a second. So the first thing we're going to do is get your laminate on there. And I've got parchment paper here, and then our Easy Press 2 is almost there. We've got about 20 more degrees. Now I've also been told that when you're using an Easy Press instead of a heat press, you need to be sure to up the temperature a little bit, but since this is the first time on that, I don't want to burn anything, so we're just going to drop this bad boy right over the top here. Set it on there. A lot of the times I've found that the weight of the Easy Press is good enough. When it says medium pressure, you're going to be fine with the weight of the Easy Press. And if you feel like you really need to give it a little extra, you can always push on it. But I have bad wrists, and I popped my wrist out of place making Christmas signs last year, pushing down on it. So I don't do that as much. Okay, so we're going to let that go, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are down to our 90 seconds is complete, and I'm lifting it off. And from the videos that I've watched before, what I've been told is that before you put your image on, you want to wait about a minute or two for it to cool a little bit. I did watch a video with a gal who put her image on right away because she was doing the video, and she ended up getting some bubbling up of the laminate because it just got too hot. It almost kind of boiled a little bit. So you want to let it wait a little bit, and you can see it did shrink up a little, but you can see it looks really nice on the wood there. It's not lifting anywhere or anything. It looks really good. It also looks like I laminated in some dog hair, so that's fun. Be sure to check your wood if you have animals before you put the laminate on, but this is really just a practice because I already messed up the other side, so I wouldn't give this as a gift anyway. This will be something I keep. Now, like I said, I did my image on Canva, and you can see there's actually a background there, and it was supposed to save as transparent. So another wonderful thing is that this is a fun trial run. So I'm going to cut that and let this cool for a second, and you'll see me in just a second. Okay, so here's what I decided on. Since it should have been transparent but wasn't, but it already has those nice little margins, I just cut around the outside for the margins like that. And I'm going to place it on here and get it nice and lined up. And this is now cool to the touch, and it's definitely on there. And I'm just going to put this down for a second to get it lined up properly. A little tip for somebody lining things up. It's going to hang obviously from this centerpiece right here, and so that's really what you're going from. So I'm lucky that I have this little notch right here, and I'm lining it up at the very top, and then I'll just gently slide it down till it's in the right spot. Okay, so I've slid it down. I feel like that's nice and even. And again, from the first video I watched, they said to go for 90 seconds with the image. But then the second video I watched, she said to only go for 40. But I think the 90 is probably what I'm going to stick with. Her image came out looking out nice. So same thing again, you're going to go with the easy press, even though everyone says it can't be done. We are about to find out. So I'm going to set that on there. Now, I probably should tape that picture on there, but I left my tape in my bedroom, and my kids and husband are asleep down the hallway, and so I don't want to go down there and go get it. So we're just going to work without it, but to make sure it doesn't move around, you probably want to use heat-resistant tape that you can, the thermal tape that you can get on Amazon or Heat Transfer Warehouse, or I think Swing Design might have it. I'm not 100% sure. So here we go. We're just going to wait for that to count down. Okay, so we're almost there. We have a little fly coming to visit. We'll see. It smells really funky, so that's always fun. And we're going to see in just a second. Here we go. So I'm going to lift that up. You want to just lift gently and straight up, and then kind of move it quickly once you get it off of there. And now we're going to take this back. And I know from what I've seen, this is really, really hot. Now, I don't see any bubbling or anything weird. There's a little bubbling on the side here. So I did hear about that if you do it too long. I might have gone too long with that 90 seconds. That also might smooth out a little bit as it cools. So we're just going to let that be. It didn't happen on the other side. It also could have been from a lack of pressure, I suppose. I don't know if you can see that bubbling. It's just a little pucker, really, but it looks like it's actually evening out as the whole thing is cooling. So we'll just leave that alone and see. Okay, so I just knocked that away because it was hot. I was going to try with my fingers before that. And I'm really liking this. This is looking so much better than the other side. I think that when I do it again, I'm going to give it some pressure. Because here's what I'm seeing on my sublimation paper. See, there's like uneven color gone. So learn from my mistakes. I can see it on my daughter's face right there. It's just less colorful. But this is pretty good, guys. So it can be done with a heat press. I'd suggest applying pressure, maybe evenly that whole 90 seconds. You might push down on that a little bit. But that looks nice. And it looks so much better than the polyacrylic. So it can be done with an easy press, and when I do my next one, I'll take another video so you can see with the pressure what it looks like, but this is a go. I think you're good. Good luck.